actually looking at material fact. Now, we talked about material fact last week. We talked about the issue of about suicide. We talked about if the person hadn't actually passed away in the property, does that need to be disclosed? And, you know, at the end of the day, we said, yes, it does. So it's really cutting hairs there in terms of, or splitting hairs there, in terms of saying where the person died. The incident occurred in the property. And our definition of what needs to be for material fact in a sales situation is anything that will significantly affect the decision-making capacity of the purchaser. Yes, next year when we get the property services reforms, which we're all very, very interested and very excited about receiving and having go live, it will be a refined definition. But at the end of the day, there will always be, if there is something significant that will affect the decision-making capacity of the purchaser, they need and deserve and have the right to know about this. Obviously, while still doing your best job and you're holding your fiduciary duty of acting in the best interest of your vendor, if you are the selling agent. So, but the question we had a number of times this week was about what if it's about natural causes. So we stuck on this, very morbid issue of somebody dying within a property. Look, is it at the moment? We look at the Residential Tenancies Act and the difference there for a rental property. And it says the result of a violent crime. Well, obviously dying by natural causes is not the result of a violent crime. But when we look at the sales definition of you must disclose anything that will significantly affect the decision-making capacity of the purchaser, well then perhaps it is, perhaps it's not. But if you've got to sit there and go, do I, don't I? The answer is I do, because remember, again, just as we spoke last week, it is about the perception. Do you need to sell somebody a property, and then once they move in and they're all happy and they're excited about their new home, one of the neighbours tells them, oh, did you hear old Mr. So-and-so passed away in the property? And I mean, their immediate thought is going to be, why didn't the agent tell me about this? Now, they don't know the intricacies of the definitions that are under our legislation. What they know is, and what the discussion is with the people around them is, you, the agent, didn't tell them. You don't need that perception. You don't need that reputational damage. So again, it's exactly the same advice we gave last week. It doesn't matter what the situation is, whether it's a murder, whether it's a suicide, whether it's a natural causes death. And obviously we translate that across to whether there's pest and building issues, whether there's, a development approval for a property next door. There's a whole range of things that you bring that across to if it will significantly affect the decision-making capacity of a purchaser. Talk about it. It's a discussion that you need to have. It's a conversation that needs to commence with your vendor. This is an issue. This is how we're going to deal with it, and create that relationship with your vendor where you are being open with them in order for you to be open with your purchasers. So again, material fact, it's there. We've got it. It's part of our legislation, and when you put your purchaser hat on, it's a fair deal. It is simply just you want to know about the property you are purchasing. So as a purchaser, you want to know about it. So whilst you have a duty of care to your purchaser, you have a fiduciary duty, so that higher level duty to your vendor, but you're still caught up there in the midst of trying to get a deal across the line of making sure that the correct information is given at the timely point of the sales process. So guys, when you think about it, you talk about it, and you think, would somebody want to know about this? And the answer is yes. There's your answer to your material fact question.